You're listening to Mainstreet Unscripted with myself, Matthew Wallen, and my co-host, Holly Nash.
This is a podcast put on by Casa Grande Main Street, a local nonprofit organization here in Casa Grande, Arizona.
And let us begin. And welcome everybody to episode 6. We're really excited to have you here. At what point does revitalization of the downtown buildings become less about fixing up old buildings and more about the people that occupy them? We're going to talk about that today and address some of that and address what Main Street is doing to try to put more people and more qualified people into those spaces. But before I begin, I need to introduce a very special guest star today. We have a co-host today because Holly can't be here. She's in conference season and she's out and about learning how to make Main Street a better place. And a lot of that has to do with education. And Holly spends an inordinate amount of time going to conferences, to meetings, to different Main Street events. As a national Main Street organization, she's participating in things so that she can help find new tactics, new techniques, new things that make other Main Streets successful and see how we can employ them here. And she's doing that. And so stepping in for Holly today is Stephanie, which is Holly's number 2.
Hello.
So hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Matt.
And introduce yourself and tell us why you're here.
Why I'm here. Filling in for Holly, as always. My name is Stephanie. I am the manager over at Casa Grande Main Street and for Space 108, which we will be talking about today. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
I like to call Stephanie, she's an executive assistant, really. She says she's just a manager. She's really more than just a manager. She's kind of like the person that wears a million different hats. And she kind of fills in and adapts and becomes kind of whatever we need her to be. Yeah. So,
which is basically assistant to Holly.
Right.
She makes the big strides and I manage it behind her. And she has a lot of big projects going on right now.
Well, speaking of big projects, there's a lot of activities that are happening downtown. There's a few things that we're excited about. And there's things that happen weekly, monthly, that type of stuff. There's a couple of projects in particular that I'm really pumped about because they're unique and they're different ideas. The one and the main one, though, that stands out for me is the Ramos family.
Right.
They took over the Paramount Theater.
Yes.
And part of taking over the Paramount Theater, at least running that and having shows and stuff, is they've been bringing a lot of new and interesting things to the Paramount Theater.
Right.
And they brought, they did like a Pokemon conference, and they're doing all these different concerts. They're doing some death speakeasy type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Edgar Allan Poe, and these are things that some of them have been here before, but not every single month. And they've been keeping things in. And one of the things they've got coming up is Casa Grande's Got Talent.
Yes.
And I'm not sure how close it is to another major TV show that has Got Talent in it, but I'm assuming that it's kind of the same type of thing. And I'm really excited about it because I love that show.
Right. I did see it. We are promoting it as well on Main Street. I don't have anything to do with the production, so I don't know specifically if it is, but it sounds just like it, and I'm excited about it.
Now, I heard a rumor, right, that there may be some very famous celebrity judges that are there, and not like nationally famous. I mean, Casa Grande famous, right?
Right. Yeah. I will say, just to add on to your point, that Ramos taking over that building has been really great for downtown. Like you said, the events have just been going on. They have much more than even what they're advertising. And they even changed it up inside. They've got like a little coffee shop inside. If you've never been in there.
Is the coffee shop open?
I think they were building it last I checked. I haven't been in there since. So.
I don't think it's quite. I think they ran into some snags here and there. But
okay.
Just like every venture does.
Right.
When you're trying to make something better, you miss something, or bureaucracy comes. Who knows?
I'm just grateful they're trying. Right?
Exactly. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
Is they're really trying to make it a better space. And from what I understand, from what I've seen, the space itself is actually, it's definitely a lot more inviting, and you don't feel like it's haunted anymore. Like you used to go and it felt a little haunted. Yeah. And no shame on anybody that ran it before. I don't think anybody really knew exactly what to do. And Ramos the family's taken active interest in making that better.
Right.
And
Yeah,
doing
putting
that.
new blood in there. Yeah.
I lost my notes here, so hold on one second. I'm going to bring those up.
We were talking about events, and if I could add another couple that were going on
For sure.
soon. So there is a new one called Third Thursdays. It is new and it will be ongoing. So it'll be every third Thursday for the foreseeable future. But it is created by CG Guide, and what they do is they collaborate with artists or nonprofits in the community of Casa Grande or even local. And they're doing it at the Landmark. So every third Thursday at the Landmark, anybody who wants to participate, collaborate, be an artist, show off their work. It is not a marketplace, but they will be there.
So not everybody knows what the Landmark is.
Right. That's so cute. So Landmark is a cute little building downtown. Somebody turned kind of like a house into a beautiful event space. I've been to 3 quinceañeras there so far. I've been to 2 weddings there. It's really beautiful and affordable if people are looking for an event venue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's called the Landmark Center.
Yes.
Right? And so third Thursday, it's called Third Thursdays, and they're doing this. And is it an open mic night? Is it like...
No, the first one did. There was a participating nonprofit, YARHAP. They were there and they hosted the open mic. But that's kind of the idea, is that it's supposed to be open for any nonprofit or business that would like to come through. Like they're hoping to possibly have a band in there, or they're hoping that, maybe Black Box will go in there and do some theater. She's really looking to collaborate, and glad to get that message out there for anybody who is looking for that kind of thing.
So theoretically, it could be different every single time.
It's supposed to be, yes.
That kind of makes it exciting,
Yeah.
because it's never the same type of thing. Because sometimes you'll go to the monthly events that can play. Well, if you've taken place, if you love it and you like it, well, that's cool. That's fine. But sometimes you want something fresh and different, and having different entities come in to the space and being showcased in that way makes it kind of like an exciting thing.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool. I know that we've got a couple other things we've got all of our monthly events that take place.
Right. Books and Brews every fourth
Books
Thursday.
and Brews.
Yeah.
We would be slapped if we didn't remember to mention Books and Brews. And we've got and then there's some other pottery classes and some art classes.
From Art Mobile, Art Association is doing painting classes. Those all smaller ones, because they're not always every month. Those ones are all available on our calendar at cgmainstreet.org. So for any of those details, I've got the flyers up on the calendar for all of August. If I haven't gotten a flyer, it's because you haven't sent it to me.
Well, then that brings up a very important point. If you are listening to this podcast and you're like, what about me? What about my event? Well, you probably haven't reached out to us. And so if you have an event, reach out to us and say, hey, especially if you're a Main Street member, reach out to us and say, hey, we've got an event coming up. Here's the dates, here's the flyer, and we'll put it up. And guess what? It's no charge to do that other than the time it takes for you to let us know.
Right.
But these events themselves, they don't run on their own, right? And neither does this organization. The organization itself, we run predominantly off of volunteers, right? And as I think about all these events that are coming up and all the people that dedicate their time, and yes, there are some entities that do this for some profit, but by and large, a lot of people are doing activities and shows and programs that are either very, very, very inexpensive or free. And the only way that happens is with volunteers. And I know you had mentioned, like we were talking earlier, you had said that we were coming up on event season. And I know when that happens, everybody in the Main Street office starts shutting down.
Duck and cover.
Yeah. I've got ideas. I'm like, hey, I want to do it's event season. And so
Don't talk to me.
Yeah. So what are we looking for? Like, what do we need?
As far as volunteers, well, we need an army of volunteers, honestly. And we are a 501c3, so our volunteers do count for, our volunteer hours do count for things like schools, extra credit. My own son has gotten volunteer hours from us from the high schools. But we have 3 major annual events. We've got one in September called Celebra. It's our Hispanic Heritage event. We've got one in October, our Downtown Halloween Stroll. That one's always fun. And our annual street fair. That's the one we do need the most help in. But all of our events, we definitely need help. And not just then either, because there are things at Main Street that you could volunteer for. If it's just running some mail or something, that's how I got started, just volunteering and moving forward.
Well, that brings up a very important point.
Yeah.
You started out as a volunteer.
I did.
And now look at you. You're suckered into a podcast and suckered into being on camera.
Oh.
And you're working in Space 108 and you're doing all these different activities and it's kind of like there's a little story of Stephanie here, right? And I don't know, a lot of people really actually, I know some people know of you. How did you get roped into this?
Good question. I don't know that I got roped into it. I think I was looking for community, and I had started at a community coffee, one of Kim's community coffees. I had gone with a friend, and Holly was there, and Kim was saying that she was going to volunteer, and Holly was recruiting volunteers, and they both were like, "Oh, it's a great time," so I went.
Now, when you first volunteered,
right, did
you have any clue that it was going to evolve into what you are today?
No, and it was chaos, and I was scared. No, everybody kind of knew what they were doing. It seemed like it was already a crew. It seemed like they had been there years before, and I was the newcomer. So even that was kind of scary. You know, I'm on the outside, and I don't know anybody, and it seems like everybody's already a crew, but everybody was really welcoming. I mean, my first crew, it was Holly, of course. And then we had Kim's hubby, Mitch, her mom and dad, the youth commission, which I think I mentioned one time to you. I've never seen such driven kids. It's beautiful. And so, yeah, being a part of the team was a no-brainer for me. Once the street fair was done, I just kept asking if there was more, and there was.
Well, and it's interesting because your role as it started out just as a volunteer, as Main Street, the organization has evolved, your role has evolved right along with it. It hasn't been like just this linear thing of, oh, we're going to slot Stephanie in here and then we're going to move to this point and, oh, we'll put Stephanie in there. It's been more like, we're doing this. Who's going to slot in? Well, we got Stephanie.
Yeah.
And I think you went from like...
Good old Stephanie.
Right. It was like, I think you started at like 10 hours and now you're almost, full-time, close to?
Right. Which is also... It wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't planning on it that way. I'm glad that it grew that way, though. It grew organically. Just to explain on that, because I had a child, and that's the whole point, is that I had left my career for like 7 years and decided to start my family, but still wanted to be a part of the community. And so went out there looking for it, found it, and at first, Holly just needed help, and then we hit it off really well, and it turned out she could give me more. And so I don't know necessarily that the role was supposed to develop, but it developed organically, and I'm glad it did. I enjoy it here.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you. I mean, it's been like a real nice advantage to have somebody that's been so flexible, be able to slot into the roles that we've had. And right now, your role kind of revolves around, I mean, you're still wearing all the different hats. You're still doing a bunch of different things, social media, administrative duties, helping out, especially during event season. You're taking a lot of different roles. But your main focus or main job right now has kind of been managing Space 108, right? How has managing Space 108 and because we'll talk a little bit about like that, the evolution of Space 108.
Right.
And as you've been a part of that and watching that evolution take place, what are some of the things that you've learned and how has it grown for you in that space, working with it and evolving with it?
The question is almost like tenfold for me because there's a personal level that I've grown from it, right? I've seen everybody who's come in, the business members, not business members, but the vendors. I've seen them come in and come out and gotten inspiration from them, or even from you and Holly.
We like to call the vendors, I like to call them micro retailers.
Okay, micro retailers.
Because they're not like fully fleshed out.
Right.
And they're not fully ready for their own space yet.
Right.
But they have ideas and they have products and they have things they want to sell. So I always want us to adopt that term, micro retailer.
Micro retailers. I can get with that. Yeah. Yeah. To expand on it, though, it's been an experience for me as an employee in there. also as a potential vendor, because I get a lot of inspiration in there from people who come in with creative business ideas. I've seen different business models come in, which is really cool because that space wasn't there before, meaning Space 108 was not there before. There was nowhere for these business models to come through, and thus nowhere for me to see this being done. You know, everybody sees a brick and mortar building and a business, but people start with the seed of a dream and you think you can't get to a brick or mortar because it's so hard to get to. But I've seen this program bridge that gap.
Right. Space 108 started out initially as just a small business incubator. The whole concept and the idea behind it was we wanted to give opportunities for those that weren't quite ready to move into their own space yet, couldn't afford it, because it's a pretty big gap. You've got to come up with your down payment. You got to come up with the space itself. You've got to stock it. You've got to merchandise it. You have to have all of your fixtures, all that other type of stuff. And the idea was we wanted to provide a space where all that was already taken care of. We already had the venue. We already had the space. We already had all of the merchandising equipment. We already had the POS system. We already had all the fixtures and everything. All you had to do,
if a pipe burst, it's not their problem.
Right. All you had to do is bring your business idea and product or service into the space, and then we would take care of the harder parts of that. And the thought was we would help businesses to grow so that once they were ready to move out, then they would go into their own space. And one of the empty spaces, because again, we talked about the area being revitalized and a lot of these buildings have been revamped. And as they sit there empty, even after they've been renovated, we want businesses to fill those up. And so how do you do that, especially when people aren't ready to do that? So that was the original concept of Space 108. But as we did it, it evolved, right? And it was one of those things that our original thought, I think we were going to have 10 vendors, and those 10 vendors were going to bring their unique products but what it kind of became,
like a collective.
Well, that's what it became, right?
Co-op.
It became kind of a co-op or collective. And then at that same time, other shops in town and other spaces in town who were having some similar pain points because there isn't a lot of traffic downtown at the time. And while that's still growing and it's getting better, it's still not quite exactly what it needs to be. And so other people that have rented spaces also created co-ops at the same time or within a year's time of doing that. So we kind of already had these cooperative spaces and these smaller spaces. So there was no longer a need to have Space 108 in that capacity anymore, right? So we had to move Space 108 into like, okay, well, what's missing now, right? And that's kind of been like the whole thing as we go through it. What's missing now? What is it that we need to create that's going to expand the downtown district and make it easier for people to do business down there? So we revamped what we did, and we said, okay, all the smaller businesses that they're finding cooperative space, if they want cooperative space, that's available, and there's no shortage of that right now. There's a couple new places that have opened up that we can get into a little bit later, but there is that space already. Now we're looking at somebody that's a little bit bigger than that small space, or a little bit bigger than the small business. They've had some success. They're still looking to grow, but they're not quite ready to make that leap into that the full retail environment on their own. So I almost look at it like retail with training wheels. And you ideally should be savvy. You should already be pretty well versed in your marketing. You should know your brand. You should know exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. We're just helping to facilitate that and giving you the space to do that. So we've parsed it down from 10 vendors down to 4. And I don't care if it's 1, right? We just want to provide that space to do that. What are some of the things that you think these vendors, because we've had a lot of vendors pass through and kind of come into Space 108, and we've seen successes, we've seen failures, and I don't want to focus specifically on any one success or one failure because I don't want anyone to feel called out or anything like that. But what do you think the vendors that have been successful with this space, because there's been a few, what quality or what things have helped them to be more successful? Because you're the boots to the ground.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. It's very interesting because I have seen the space transform, and I did know what the original idea was. and what we really tried to carry out. So bringing in the vendors at the beginning, it was really a pathway to business program, right? And as we went through that, we saw that some micro retailers were maybe more committed or less committed. And so we have things like opportunities where we have a patio. So you could create events for yourself, or, we had a burning hat party. One of our retailers used that. And so just an example of how they were able to use it. And so some people really took advantage. We have the platform available there, like our Casa Grande Main Street platform, as well as the store platform. And you're able to put your media up there for yourself. You can, as well as what we do for them. So that's how it started. And we realized that not everybody was taking advantage of that. And so, it's grown. It's transformed.
Sorry, we should be clear that there's not a... we're not there to do everything for them specifically, right?
It's a pathway for them.
Correct.
And so you had a hit on the other businesses that have a similar business model, like in downtown, that there are other co-ops going on. But I think what makes ours different is that we are there for business education, honestly. I mean, Holly specifically got a business consultant, Kim McWhirter, to go through from concept to creation in trying to get people to go in their pathway, right? But we saw some take advantage and we saw some not take advantage. And that is where the ones who we would deem...
When you say take advantage or not take advantage, you're talking about taking advantage of the space that was provided to them and then the education components, right?
Right. Yeah. Or all the amenities that go with it and stuff. So some vendors took advantage and saw tremendous success. They'd have, more sales that day, more sales that week, or whatever it was, however they... business measures metrics by sales, I assume.
Well, of course. Yeah. So any business, retail business that comes out, your goal is to try to drive traffic to your store.
Right.
And there's several ways that can be done. And in a Main Street environment, one of the hardest things, especially what's interesting is as the Main Streets get busier, that competition increases.
Right.
So it's easy to get lost in the din of all the noise of all the other businesses around you. So sometimes the success of a Main Street district actually pigeonholes some people into a spot where they're getting no traffic while others are booming. Mm-hmm. And the biggest challenge is, what do I got to do to bring people in the store? Well, it's unique products. Mm-hmm. It's having a service or product that people truly want and that's unique. And you can do also events. You can do different stuff. Like you had mentioned in-store events. Mm-hmm. And having those, it all drives traffic in. And it didn't even have to be something specifically related to your product. It can be something that's collaborative with another entity in town.
Right. Yeah, we had somebody do a chess tournament, which had nothing to do with their products. They partnered with somebody downtown, and they had coffee in there, and they had their chess, and it's open for that. And that's, again, the difference between what we're trying to do and what maybe other co-ops are doing downtown is that we really are trying to provide, like you said, one, the brick and mortar store. But, also we have a whole patio space for them to use. We have, just the resources. You could have private appointments with a consultant specifically for your business. There's so many things.
At a fraction of the price, by the way, of what business consulting would be.
For only the rent, you get all this.
So when we do, we talk about education and stuff like that, what's our ultimate goal right now? To me, I think the goal is once again to get somebody to that next level, right?
Well, it's changed a little bit, I think. But at first, it started off as that pathway. Let's get you off the ground and get you going. But I think now we're going into a space of where we understand that some micro retailers.
Yeah, I like that.
Some micro retailers are not there yet, and they end up not going forward. And that's not on us. And so we're realizing that our program needs to change a little bit to help those that are trying to push forward, and I think that's why you guys made that decision to bring it down to 4 so that we can focus on them.
Yeah, we needed the ability to focus more specifically on fewer vendors and a more concerted effort to help those vendors out. So rather than having 10 people to talk to and to address and to go over and all the different personalities and different... And everyone was at different stages. to try to hone in on people that are at a more similar stage in their business development.
Right.
And again, that's been something. And we are continuing to evolve the space further than that and how they use space. So we are trying to come up with ways to bring our own events in our own, and make the space available to others that want to do events that may not necessarily be retailing there or selling there, but again, driving traffic to the space. And I think that our offices and our space and everything like that have the potential to be more of a community hub, which is kind of what we all have always thought it should be. But we never had the ability to do that until now.
Right.
And go ahead.
Well, just organically, it's been growing that way. I know there's been, I think Holly had an idea of like a business cooperative or something along those lines for downtown, and maybe Kim had an idea about the entrepreneur things. And as things go, everybody has had a little hand of what does the downtown need. And so Main Street has risen up, and provided that kind of stuff. So organically, it just seems to get bigger and better every year, every step that we take. So I am excited to see it grow. I hope for something like to be a community hub. Right now, we're still in the early phases of that.
Well, we had talked about at one point having Space 108 or the Main Street office or something like that being a cooperative business space. I think Holly mentioned that to one of the downtown vendors, and they ran with that. Now we have a cooperative working space that's in the terminal, Terminal 318.
I didn't even know.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah.
I didn't know. Tell me about it.
That's what is happening. I just did.
You just did. Okay.
I just told you. So, yeah. And again, we don't care if we develop it.
Right.
If we put the idea.
As long as it's getting out there.
As long as it gets out there. So somebody, Holly has the idea. She puts it out there. If I'm talking to somebody and they run with an idea, whatever the case may be, we're glad to see the expansion. So we didn't have any cooperative working space because not every vendor down there, or I say vendors, not every business down there has meeting space. And not everybody has the opportunity. If they meet, sometimes you don't have an office. You don't have space for an office. And so if you don't have that, it kind of feels unprofessional to meet any place, but now you have this cooperative meeting space that you can use, and it's in the downtown area. And we didn't have that before. Now we do, right? And that's kind of goes with that evolution of downtown.
Right.
So we're seeing that, and people are, not to mention the fact we've got more businesses that are coming into the area, right? They just opened up another cooperative, which I'm going to mess this up, and I have to look at notes because I don't remember the name very well because I'm bad with this type of stuff. But and I don't know why I struggle with this one. Sunshine Girls.
Oh, I just saw them on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. So they're new to me, right? And
new to me too. I think I looked at the page and it's just been created in the last year or so.
But they're putting out a ton of social media content, and they're putting out a lot of advertising cooperatively with 318 or with the terminal, right, which is the building that they lease from.
Yeah, they like all my posts. Thank you.
So, yes, very important that you like our posts and subscribe. No. So they and then on top of that, the terminal also has opened up now another event space. It's called JF Brown Hall. And that was something that didn't exist before. We had in that capacity, right? And so now we've got three different spaces that you can have events at. So you can have a space.
Right, that didn't exist before.
No, it didn't exist. So we have our space, which is Space 108, which people can rent the patio and they can do things out there. Small.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have the Landmark, which is next level up.
Yes.
Right? Medium,
beautiful.
And great venue to have stuff, especially when the weather is phenomenal. And then if you need something even bigger, right, you've got the terminal, which is this whole big giant warehouse type thing with, and it's even on a bigger scale. And so now that we have these three different spaces that are available to people, you can choose what size that you want for your event to be and participate in that revitalized vibe that downtown is becoming.
Right. Becoming or is? I think we're there.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're quite there. No, I think that
Under construction?
We're more than that. We're on the way. There's still a lot of like pain points for downtown, right?
Every downtown has pain points.
I know there is, but I think when I look at, I was just up in Flagstaff, right? And I'm calling you out, Flagstaff, because when I was there, one of the things like I've become really hyper focused on is walkability and rideability, right? And there's a lot of people that bike up in Flagstaff around town. Well, it's a terrible place to ride a bike. You're taking your life in your hands. Mountain. And when it's not there, and I'm talking specifically of their downtown area. And then when you walk it, right, the ground's completely uneven, or you have these places where you got to really watch where you're going and you trip. But this is also an entity that has parklets, which has become this big topic of conversation. You have a small restaurant, you can only seat so many people inside, or you don't have any ability to sit outside. But in front of your store, where typically a parking space would be, you have what they call a parklet, which is an outside seating area that brings life and revitalization to an area that otherwise wouldn't have it. And so when people are trapped inside, it doesn't unify a district and make it feel like community. When you're out and about and you're walking among the community and you walk past the parklets and you see the good food that they're eating, you want to participate in that. And a prime example of this is when you look at all of us go to San Diego, or when we want to go to the beach, right? Or we go to Orange County in Huntington Beach or something like that.
Well, not all of us, but yes, some of us.
Well, some of us do. You just went to San Diego, so don't say that you didn't go. So we all go to
San California around here.
I know. We just visited. We didn't stay. We spent as little as possible. So they have taken that into space because they are literally out of space, right? And as they're out of space, they've expanded into the roads and created this. So when you're walking down, I'm getting a whiff of all the food. I'm seeing what they're making. I'm going through this whole process where I kind of like, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good too. And then on top of that, everyone's having a good time. They're talking, and it just makes it feel like you're more part of the community. And we say, well, we're there. We're not there, right? And there's still some entities.
I wonder, may I ask?
Yeah.
Do you take into account that we are obviously much smaller and younger? I wouldn't say younger, but I mean smaller and feels younger than something like California, where lots of money, lots of people have put into it. Because I think Casa Grande has grown really organically, which is why we like really work to like preserve that old charm. Like we want that walkability. We don't want to stack up spaces. California has had a lot of people who have had money.
What I would never want to see is a bunch of chain stores come in.
Right, of course.
Because the charm of our downtown, and a lot of downtowns, is the mom and pops. And we say mom and pops, the independent business owners. That's a more sophisticated way to put it, right? Those people are the heart of downtowns. And I want to preserve that. I want to foster that. I want to grow that, because I want to see more of that type of business come into the downtown areas, because it's unique and it's something that you aren't going to get anyplace else. So when you go to our downtown, you're going to find something that you love, and you're going to want to visit that again.
Right.
Because, well, I can't get this where I'm from. And so especially as people are touring, or just as we live here, you can go to a million different chain restaurants. It's the same every time. It's not a bad thing. There's comfort in that. But you sometimes get a hankering for something different, or you don't want to eat the same status quo. Not to mention the fact, I think there's a lot more heart and soul that's put into the independent business owners' restaurants than any of the chains, because the chains are formulaic, right?
Right. Well, so I think where I was meaning to go with it is simply that I think we're there in our downtown with our charm. And I think we're there with our downtown with our community and the people that want downtown to be something. Whereas I do feel like California has been, made to make just nothing but money. Where our downtown is unique is everybody's kind of a neighbor. Everybody that moved to Casa Grande on purpose, and so they're here starting their businesses, or a lot of those business owners that are downtown, they started here a long time ago. And they're trying, they just made their way. So everything downtown is almost curated with the community member in mind. Like
I think we're saying the same thing.
Well, I guess.
Because that goes back to, we don't want chains, right? I don't want a bunch of chains. I want that neighborly downtown vibe. Do I want it to become more neighborly? Yep. Well, I sure do.
Of course. I'm just saying I feel as though our downtown is that. We don't have to create that. We have a neighborly downtown. It's just growing. I see the revitalization happening already. I mean, we've got Pour Therapy now. And like you said, we have now 3 venues now. We had this story before, but I got here in 2005 and there was no downtown. And so to me, I feel as though if I were to just step in, it is revitalized to me. It was dead, and now there's a lot going on. You can't go down there without there being lights, and people are open later now. There's different businesses. There's always the neon sign part. People are always taking pictures over there.
Sure, and we talk about that every episode. Right, and those are key moments of that. I would like to see us. You know what it is? It's not that I want to see it or we're not there. Okay, You're right. We are definitely creating in a vibe, right? We have a vibe. Yes.
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
We are there at that point. So I want to expand on that. Like we've had a couple of things, like right now the spot just closed, right? And so that was kind of a little bit of a hit in the community wise, but new life is going to come to that. Somebody's going to take that over, and ideally whoever comes in is going to provide make that more of a community hub also, in a place where people can come and recreate and not just go in and just make it another bar. There's rumors of the Wonder Bar, right? Also that there's going to be a change of hands in that space. Don't know any more than that, but these are changes that are taking place where kind of an old guard is going to leave, and the new people that come in ideally are going to seize the reins of what's been built thus far, take advantage of the vibe that's been created, that is present, that we both see, and expand upon that and make it more of a place where people want to go. And then as more people come down, that may encourage shops to open up longer, and because now it's worthwhile to be open past 3 o'clock or whatever time that the shops close now, or to be open on all the weekend long, because now there's a vibrant downtown and it's a district where people are at. So when I say I want more, that's what I'm meaning. Like, I'd like to see that sort of a dynamic where it's the district itself is a destination, not just somebody had told to me a long time ago, and I might have said this previous, so forgive me, listeners, whoever you are, that downtown, like, because you said when you first got here, you got here in 2005, I got here in 2008, and even when I got here in 2008, downtown was not a place you took your family. It wasn't a destination to go.
Because it's not for visiting, it's for living.
Well, exactly. You want a place that you feel like. I've lost my train of thought.
No, I didn't mean to do that to you.
Regardless, the point is that the downtown area itself, as the vibe kicks in, right, and more people come in, taking advantage and stacking on what's already being built, it's already making that change. It's already happening.
Which I do want to give credit due where credit's due, because the vibe has changed a lot downtown. I feel a younger presence coming through. We've got between Ramos and Deadlift and even Holly, because she's, Gen Z leader over here, the ideas that come out are very different than what's been. So when I got here too, the hands that were, they had some programs, and I think I had seen some things, artsy and stuff, but I do see a change in the type of events happening as well. Like, I'm excited for all of it happening.
I am too. What's the one thing about the downtown district, because we're almost out of time, right? What is the one thing that you want people to take away from the downtown area? What's something that they may not, that people should be paying attention to?
Paying attention to, interesting. There's a lot to pay attention to, and I think
what's the one thing? Narrow it down.
Right. And I have trouble with that. But I would almost say, so my answer would be impact from us. Right? Because I feel like we're down there keeping it cute, right? We're down there making sure that it's cohesive and stuff, so that when you go downtown, you can find your way around, or you kind of know what's going on. So I feel like we are trying to bridge, like, if you If you were to just drive to downtown and you don't know anything about Casa Grande, what do? You just Google up. And I do feel like we're bridging that gap of trying to include people. It's like...
Well, there's no other organization right now that is solely focused on just the strict improvement of the downtown district.
Right.
Every business that's down there, they want the district better, but their focus is on their business and how everything impacts them.
Right.
So we're looking at things more globally.
Right. Well, I think we steward it globally, right?
For sure.
Because everybody does have ideas. All the business owners, they all have different ideas and different events, and it's Main Street. So I remember Holly did an event with Rose Love and Books, Movies, Casa Grande Books, Movies, and More with Tina. And they did a collaboration and they did an event together. And that was Holly being Main Street and going in, doing that collaboration for them. And then they took care of them with their own businesses and their own stores and how they wanted to do it. So that's what I mean is that the one thing I'd want them to pay attention to is that it is a district. There actually is a place to go check out what's happening in the district. There actually is a place to figure out, what other communities are going down there. There's smaller communities that do hangouts and stuff, and you can probably find that information either on our socials, either on our website, or I'm there in the store. And when people come in, I give them the 411 on CG.
And that's a perfect way to end the segment.
I think so.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for filling in for Holly. It's big shoes to fill. Actually, she's got tiny little shoes. Itty bitty little feet.
I'm double her size.
So thank you for stepping up. Thank you for that. And thank you for watching. And if you like what you saw or you have suggestions, please reach out to us. We are open and available for any and all suggestions. If you have events, if you have anything else you want to talk about, discuss, please hit us up. We are an open book. And please stop by, like, and subscribe. I got to say that because my kids cringe when I do it. So with that, thank you and goodbye.